Welcome back. You can just tell from the title I am reviewing the newest 911 GT3 Porsche by Norev models. Now, in my previous Spotlight news, I mentioned that the front grille was a solid piece. I was 100% wrong. It is fully perforated. Enjoy the review.
The 911 GT3 by Norev models. This is actually my first review of a Norev model, and what a great introduction to their product. This is a die-cast, metal die-cast, fully opening model, and the thing that stands out really the most to me is the shape. It is a very accurate shape to the real thing. They did a stellar job with this, and the decals, the wheel and tire work, which we'll get into depth in a second, is absolutely fantastic. You can clearly see that through this video. As I said, the shape is really spot on. The decals are laid out really nice, and this here, I believe, is actually a painted decal. I do not think that is a tampo printed decal. And the reason being is that, and I'll just be honest with you, I do have another version of this particular model. And when I pulled the adhesive off from the doors, some of it actually came off on the tape. So that's why I'm saying that. Now, the wheels, as I mentioned, look really good. Not only do you have the scripting that you would love to see, the disc in the back looks fantastic. It is a beautiful, very accurate looking disc. Also, the caliper does have the Porsche spelled out on it, and there are fantastic details just within the hub of this wheel as well. The only thing that is not present on this particular model is the valve stem, but this company gets a pass on that because this is a budget-oriented model, and the details are so fantastic. Unless you really thought about it, because I had to really think about it, probably wouldn't care so much about the valve stem. The front of the model is very nicely done. You have this perforated grille, and yes, it is a perforated grille up front. This has to be probably the first I've ever seen for a Norev to have a perforated front grille. Everything else is where you would like it to be. These front markers are really nicely done. The headlights are really nicely detailed. No complaints there at all. Moving on to the back of the model. So you can squint, I guess. You could see this Porsche is nicely spelled out, and it's raised, and that's the beautiful part about it. It's actually a raised print. The exhaust outlets are nice and hollow, very nice outlets. They are black, but they are black chromed or polished, which is really nice. Side markers, very accurate to the real thing. I really like these dark tinted taillights. Look very aggressive, very nicely done. As I mentioned, this is a fully opening model. So let's take our tool here. Now everything opens except for the back here. So this is not open at all. So that is closed. And then also the DRS here does not move either. So just some things to pay attention to. But there you are, fully opened. Now let's take a closer look at this particular model. Taking a closer look at the interior, you can see it's a very well appointed interior. The steering wheel itself has lots of detail. It has the color coded knobs. Now the flocking on the steering wheel is lacking, or Alcantara, which would be on the actual car. So the mold itself is not the most concise, but it does have some pretty decent detail. There is carpeting or flocking on the floor plan, which is good. See the pedals there. GT3 RS door seal, which is very cool. The dashboard itself, it's a nice done decal, as well as the sat nav on the side. The shifter knob does have all the details, but again, it's lacking some color. It's pretty much all black mold. Black mold. The seat here, as you can see the back of it, does have this very nice carbon fiber pattern, which is really nice. You have this very nicely appointed seat with the GT3 RS on the headrest. You have the carbon fiber for the headrest support, and the pattern looks very, very nice. And the seat itself, oh my goodness, it almost looks like a soft material. It's not. You see that armrest over there, it actually looks like a padded armrest right there, which it's not, but the molding that they're using or the type of plastic material they're using makes it look the part, which is very nice. You also have the outline stitching on the seat as well, which is, it's just a print, but it works. It actually matches the interior of the car, which is really nice. And yes, what you see there is a yellow stitch seat belt. Again, a rarity for a Norev model. You also have the weights and well as the tire information sticker on the door jamb there, which is again a nice little touch. Since I'm right here, this vent here is solid. It does not go all the way through. This door cart is very nicely done. It continues that same pattern that you saw on this seat. You have your little switch gear up here, and the door pull or door handle is actually stitched like the real thing. So moving on to the passenger side, of course you have a matching seat. There's that beautiful armrest again. There's a clear focus on that sat nav, and you have the carbon fiber that runs throughout the dashboard. You have this beautiful mesh vent here, and when you close the bonnet, you can see the mesh that goes right through it, and then there of course there's those three winglets that are present as well. The back, as I mentioned, does not open, but you do have that beautiful raised Porsche lettering there. This is a third brake light, by the way, so it's an LED. It's very nicely done. Here's a closer look at that DRS wing. Again, on the Mini Champs that should be coming soon, this is actually functional, but on this model it is not. It's a glimpse of that roll cage in the back too. Now on the vents that are on top of the front wheel well, these actually have a perforated grille in the actual car, and there is one on this Norev version, but on this Norev version the piece is actually solid. I'd imagine that on better models or better brands, i.e. like Auto Art, it's going to actually have a true mesh vent there. Top of the dashboard up front is a nice piece. It's all monochrome black, but at least it has all of the elements that you'd want to see. This is the seat belt for the other side, and as you can see there is a photo etched buckle there as well. So plenty of detail. And there you are. This is the GT3 911 Porsche by Norev models. And now to my conclusions.
This 911 GT3 by Norev models is excellent. It is a very good model, especially if you're somebody on a budget. Pricing for these models varies. I've seen them as low as $115 US. I've seen them as high as $300, especially for the dealer versions. This yellow color that I showed you today is what's called a dealer edition, so it's more limited. The details in it are no better than all the other in the Norev line, but the dealer versions are, again, specifically supposed to go to OEMs, and, well, obviously they go out in the market and they cost a little bit more. This model has really great detail. There are some things lacking. Again, it's a budget model. But the beautiful thing is that, again, it has perforated grills almost everywhere, except for the engine lid. There is no perforated grill. There it is, a solid grill. On a real car, it is a perforated, so I just wanted to bring that up. The other thing is that as great as this is, you may still want to wait. I'm saying that because you still have two other folks that are going to be making this model. You have Mini Champs, their models coming out, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's really good. And then of course you have the Behemoth Auto Art. They're coming out with a version. You can only imagine how good that's going to be. But the great thing is that you're going to have options through the spectrum of your budget, which is really good. The great thing about the Norev, especially if you're on a budget and you really like these, the great thing about this particular car in reality and model form is there's so many different color and wheel combinations. It makes it so hard to pick one. It's almost like Pokemon. You may want to catch them all. That's how cool these cars are. So this is a really great time if you're into Porsche cars, because man, the GT3 911 for 2022 and 2023 personally is my favorite Porsche of all time going forward. I just like it that much. If I was to put a rating onto this model, I'm going to give it $2.50. It is going to go up in value. They actually have some that are limited editions as well, including the dealer edition that I showed you today. But the fact that there are going to be other versions coming out, as I mentioned, that is going to keep this a little bit lower when it comes to that appraised value. So just something to keep in mind, because that auto art, like I said, is going to be really nice. The Mini Champs is beautiful as well. This being a budget model, there are some shortcomings. The lack of valve stems. The hood in the front, or the bonnet as some of us call it, it has dog legs. It doesn't have really these nice intricate hinges that you may see on the more expensive models. And of course the interior was really good, but that dashboard, that definitely looked like a budget dashboard. It's nice that it had colors on it, but come on, the clarity on it is nowhere near the level of some of the better models. Please like and subscribe. That is the best way that I'm going to know you're enjoying these videos. My next video will be another Alfa Romeo Formula 1 car, but this time it's by Mini Champs. So I might as well finish the trifecta with these because this is my favorite livery. This model is really good. The question is, does it compare to the Spark? We shall see. Again, thank you for your time, and I'll see you next time.